Welcome to the fourth episode of Trev Talks, podcast in which Trev talks. I'm here with two wonderful photographers for the second time since this is our second run through, I guess. You guys want to introduce yourselves?
I'm Corey, also known as Coryinfinite.
I am Nick Fry, also known as Nicholizz.
And I guess I'm going to ask the same questions. Where can you guys be found?
On Instagram at Coryinfinite.
I can be found on Instagram as well, Nicholizz, like Nicholas, but instead of the AS at the end, you got IZZ. And also my website is the same name, Nicholizz.com.
And I hate to do this again to you guys, but
It's alright.
I guess it's a great question. How'd you guys start and when?
Okay, so I started probably when I was about 10 years old. I had a flip phone, and I just took pictures of anything that I saw and that I thought was cool pretty much. And then I upgraded to an Android, and I took a bunch of pictures with that. And then eventually I got a Nikon J3 for Christmas. And then at that time I met Nick, and we just went to this abandoned building together and took pictures, and yeah.
Yeah, that abandoned building, that was early 2018. It was January on one of those snow days where the temperatures were the reason we didn't have school. It wasn't the roads. And we went down there, and we had been planning it for a little bit, and he just took pictures of me. And I had no intentions of becoming a photographer when I went there, but I just kind of fell in love with the experience, and I wasn't even the one taking the photos. So over the next couple months, I started taking pictures with my phone of just I remember taking pictures of fields. I was just taking stuff just for fun. I didn't know exactly what I wanted to do or if I even wanted to truly do it yet. And then my sister, late March, I think it was spring break, junior year, she let me borrow her camera. And I started taking pictures of abandoned stuff. Me and Corey always went to abandoned buildings. And I hadn't even found the style I do today. But all of it just made me what I shoot today, which is just a crazy thing. So
Nice.
And, yeah.
So, Corey got you into it. How'd you guys meet?
Weight training?
It was weight training class,
Yeah.
and we were just talking about that a little bit ago. I would yell his name across the weight room and then act like I didn't say it, and I don't know why I did that at all. I didn't know him. I knew of him, and I don't know why I did that, but I'm glad I did now, I guess.
Yeah.
But
It's fun.
just weird.
And you mentioned your sister gave you a camera?
Yes,
Since
it was her one from high school, and
Oh, okay.
she hadn't been using it much. Besides, she took my other sister's not her wedding photos, but her family photos, in the fall and stuff. So she didn't use it much. So I used that till only May, and then I got my own, and I still use that same one to this day.
Nice. Since we're on the topic of equipment, what are we shooting with?
I shoot with a Canon EOS 6D, and I just got a 24 through 70 millimeter 2.8, which I like. So
I shoot with honestly pretty basic equipment. I just shoot with a Canon Rebel SL2. It's a very light camera, and honestly, it's the same weight as a phone or close, and just a 18 through 55 normal 4 aperture. So really, it just shows you if you really want to get into it, it's not the hardest thing to do. It's finding what you want to do with it, if that makes sense. So yeah.
I gotcha.
Especially with my style, I just feel the equipment I use doesn't I don't feel limited or anything. So I'm pretty content. If that makes sense.
Yeah, make the most out of what you got, right?
Yeah.
You talked about your style. What is how would you guys define your styles?
Infinite. If I could honestly just put it into one word, probably infinite. I honestly just try to do whatever I think is cool, I guess. It just looks dope. And it, I don't know. I'm like every style, pretty much.
That's the cool thing about being best friends with someone like that, because on the other hand, I just stick to a particular one kind of style or look while he does everything, and that's cool because I used to do a lot more things until I found this style that I'm doing. And what I do, I would say, I take a different look on film because I don't shoot on film. I edit it like film, and even then I wouldn't say it looks exactly like film, and that's why I think I've almost developed my own kind of style. That's kind of the goal. I want to if someone sees my photo, I want them to be like, oh, I know Nick took that. And like, I've had a couple people say that to this point, so I feel like I've done a good job of that. And yeah.
So you edit like film. Why?
Well, that's a good question. So before I was into photography, I've always been a huge fan of like hip hop, obviously, and this photographer, I don't know if you know him, Trevor, or not. His name's Gunnar Stahl, and he shoots film. And he grew up in Atlanta, and he was surrounded by like the hip hop culture. And then since he was surrounded by that, he kind of blew up and like became surrounded by not only Atlanta artists, but like big time, like a lot of hip hop people or even some pop artists have been like shot by him. But he shoots real film, so like it's like his look, like he's my biggest influence and inspiration, but it's my own take on it, and I think that's a really cool thing.
I feel that.
Yeah.
Would you consider shooting real film?
Yeah, I never have though, and that day is coming. I know it is, but for now I love what I do, but as I continue to grow, I will, but for now I'm doing what I do.
I got you. And Corey, I believe you shoot film, don't you?
I do, yeah. Infinite includes film. But yeah, I just have a little Rolly Prego 115 that I shoot on, so nothing like special, but it's film. So
Nice.
Yeah.
35?
Yeah.
Would you consider going medium format?
I don't know. I think I'm just gonna stick with what I have for now, but I might. But
I feel that. I just got a new film scanner, so like
Nice.
we're rolling now.
Cool.
Cheaper scans now. So you guys shoot some pretty big names. Am I wrong? Like big concerts and stuff.
I would not say that you're wrong. It's crazy.
How do you guys get into those?
Well, alright, so we have this Google Doc that only him and I share, and we find like the next like few months of shows coming to Kansas City. Like some big hip hop is obviously like the main one we do because that's our like, I would say that's our favorite genre, but we share this Google Doc and we write down who's coming to town, and then under their like certain concert and their night and their venue, we just go. You gotta find like managers' contacts or like record label contacts or like their personal photographer. You gotta really. It honestly is like. It's a grind to find these contact infos, but it's also like the fun because in the end, when you're like in that moment taking the photos of them, like that 30-second time taking photos of them will be worth all the hours finding the contact info, sending an email, waiting to hear back if you even will hear back. Like it's difficult, but that's what makes it such a thrill. I would say. I don't know if you.
I agree.
Nice. Well, who would your dream shoot be? Like any big stars?
Travis Scott.
Travis Scott.
I really want to shoot Playboy Cardi. That'd be awesome.
Okay. Why don't you guys skin touch?
It's coming. And
It will.
2020 we will.
2020 is the year.
Travis will be shot. Travis will be shot. Cardi will be shot. in photography terms, okay.
That's fine.
But I want to shoot my first like Rolling Loud festival in 2020. I've been saving a lot of money for plane tickets. Like 2019 was like I want to refer to it as almost like when 2020 is all said and done. I want 2019 to just be looked back upon as like a practice round or like a free trial for what I'm really trying to do, kind of.
I feel that. And then do you guys like work side gigs, like shooting portraits of people, or how do you get paid?
Occasionally, yeah.
Yeah, I don't normally like. I really don't charge people because I don't shoot a lot of people that I'm not like close with or like friends with, and so because in my head, I think Corey's the same way. Like as long as our content is getting out and people are seeing like our usernames or like our name or like picking up on that style when people post them and like people kind of see like that looks familiar. Oh, he shot that. That's Nick or that's Corey.
Mm-hmm.
Like that. Right now, where we're at is more worthy than money to me.
Nice. Yeah.
So.
Yeah, that's pretty much what I'm doing too. Like, I really don't charge. Like, if it's my friend, like,
Just getting content out
Yeah,
is
it's
really important right now.
Plus, you might get like an insane pic that you might post. You never know.
Yeah.
Like,
I feel that. You like to experiment with star filters, right?
I do.
You do?
Mhm.
Now, would you put that on just like a 50 mil or?
I did. So I first had a 50 millimeter where I put it on, and I liked it. But then once I got my 24 through 70, I bought a star filter for that too, and I think it takes better pictures with the star filter.
I know a lot of people think it's Photoshop.
Mhm.
You know, a lot of people go up to me like, man,
Yeah.
he edits a lot. It's like, it's just a filter, but like, you know, it makes some cool stuff.
I know, that's what I think. I mean, as long as it looks cool, I mean, I don't know.
Now, would you guys experiment with more stuff like that or anything
I
flashy?
was thinking of trying to buy more filters. Like, there's this one that like blurs. It's kind of like a motion filter or something. Like, the subject's in focus, but it kind of like blurs it at the same time.
Really?
I don't know if you've seen that before, but it's pretty cool. But yeah, just like different filters and stuff.
Cool.
For me, experimenting would like the first thing for like experimentation for me at this point would be like actually shooting film.
Mm-hmm.
But I think as I grow, I'll want to try more things and do new things and test new things. But that'll come. I'm like I said, I'm content with what I'm doing right now, and I think I'm doing well, and so all that will come. I just got to focus on like the main task at hand, I would say, for now.
And what's that?
I just, by the end of 2020, I want to be like either someone's personal photographer, and honestly, I've been trying to get a hold of like Chiefs players,
Mm-hmm.
and like me and Corey, we took pictures of Patrick Mahomes backstage at a concert in June, and one of my biggest regrets of 2019 is not like telling him like, hey, I'm local, or like just like tell him what I am and like what I want to do, like my vision, because like a guy like that could, like a young superstar athlete would definitely probably do something like that, especially if they're local, and I mean, given he likes my style, hopefully, but you know what I mean. Anyway, if not someone's personal photographer, kind of like just go on tour with someone or something. I want to do something traveling, and I think Corey has the same. Corey, what do you think?
Yeah, that's my dream, is just to go on tour with someone that like I enjoy listening to pretty much, like, and just get pictures for them, and that like pictures that they can enjoy. Like, that'd just be amazing.
Yeah, that's like
and an even bigger goal is to do it together. That would be insane, because like that does not happen. That is not like no friendship really. So
Now, if you guys did do it together, would you have like a name, like a company?
interesting. We used to talk about that.
Yeah. I don't know.
What
I
was
mean,
it? Oh, I forgot.
I forgot to.
But
we've thought about
We
that.
definitely talked about it. I don't know if like we would ever like really like combine as like a one thing, but we will always be like a dynamic duo, I would say, or like just some like we would probably like if he got into something, like he would try and get me in. If I got into something, I would try to get him in. We just like work off each other like that, and that's the cool part about it. And so, yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I gotcha. Nice. So I guess this works in perfectly. High school's wrapping up. We got one more semester. So what's afterwards?
I'm probably gonna be going to Maple Woods for the first 2 years. Hopefully I figure out like the photography thing by like then, because I really don't know what I want to do besides photography, so I'm just kind of relying on that.
For me, I'm like pretty set on KU right now, but the thing about college is like if I want to tour with someone or like be a personal photographer, like that's going to be really hard, and I obviously don't want to drop out because I want to get a degree, because I don't know if this photography thing, like even if I do get to where I want to be, I don't know if that'll last longer than like if I'm like 30 or even 35, because I have like other passions like sports broadcasting and like reporting and anchoring and stuff like that, so, or even like right now like a radio talk show, like something like that, so like I have other things I want to do, and like this is just like my main focus and passion for the moment. But while in college, my focus will be on like the sports broadcasting stuff and like getting a communications degree. So like I have an open field of like what I want to do, but yeah, for now, like if I were to go on tour, it'd probably have to be like a summer thing. Or I have met photographers, like personal photographers for people at shows that are in college doing it online on tour, and if that's what it took, I would juggle that. And they said it was hard, but they said that if you want to go on tour enough, then you will get it done. You'll find a way to juggle them. Like, so.
How much do like tour photographers make?
I honestly do not know, but I would assume that they would be okay.
Yeah.
Because I think I don't know if they're paid a lot of money, but I bet they're provided a lot. So that's the thing. Like, fare, like hotel fare and like the transportation, you probably don't have to pay for any of that. You obviously got to bring your own stuff, like equipment, like clothes and all that. But like, I don't know. They definitely get paid
enough.
And yeah, like for what they're doing.
Yeah.
And especially like since we're so young, I think the experiences will mean more than how much the money is at the time. Because if the experiences like lead us to like certain connections and networking and stuff, then the money will come. Mm-hmm. So.
Yeah, I agree.
So I guess this transitions perfectly. Besides like shooting your friends, do you guys pay for your shoots often? Like, do you have to pay for tickets to get backstage, or does it just kind of?
The tickets come with the pass, which is really clutch. And I don't know if I would shoot a lot of the shows I would have shot if I had to pay, because like I remember Juice WRLD was like upwards of like $110 for a seat, and not even like on the pit. So like as much as of a superstar he was, I don't know if I would have paid that to get into that, because then I would have had to take $110 photos. And I honestly believe that like some of my favorite photos are from that night. So I don't know, kind of feel like I'm rambling, but just like, yeah.
I hear that. And are you guys like backstage? Are you guys up in the front? How does the photography life work?
Kind of depends. Sometimes we get a backstage pass. Usually it's kind of just like a photo pass that we get, which like allows us to be in like the front barricade area. But it just kind of depends on what pass and what kind it is.
The cool thing about the abandoned building era that we went through from like March to like August, it helped with trying to get backstage without having backstage. Like kind of like, yeah, because like the abandoned buildings, they were like sketchy, and you didn't know if anyone was in there, and you wanted to be quiet because people outside maybe, and so like. Just like little ninjas that showed like trying to get backstage. Yeah. But yeah, backstage is always the goal, because like my primary is like getting portraits of people. I love getting photos of people performing, but it's not my goal or my specialty, and so that's why backstage is so appealing to me, and Corey. I know.
Yeah.
Nice. So let's talk about that abandoned building era. Okay. What started that?
That was crazy.
Well, I've always had kind of like a love for abandoned places. I don't know why. It's kind of cool to me. And that's like how we kind of like met, me and Nick. I took him to that first one, and we took pictures, and he liked it. And then after that, we kind of just went to like an abandoned building like every day that summer. Like it was crazy.
No, we went
to so many.
The amount of gas and miles put on our cars going downtown and back, and even past downtown and back. I think we went to places like an hour and a half away sometimes. But it was always just awesome, because we would throw the windows down, turn on some music, and just drive. And
it was an era.
Yeah, it was.
I'll never forget that.
Absolutely not. And it was crazy, because like there's a little Kansas City community of like abandoned photographers, and it seemed more of like a competition or contest than like concert photography is. I feel like it was like everyone was trying to get the spot.
Yeah,
and,
it's
like,
crazy.
The spot no one knew, and that was such a grind trying to find locations.
Yeah,
but
people would like keep them secret and stuff.
On my phone, I still have like 30 starred locations around the city that are just like spots, and I haven't been to a lot of them since that time, but they were. Yeah, and I don't even remember how we found them, because like people would not tell you, photographers would not tell you really where they were. You would have to figure it out on your own, and But that's like kind of like getting into concerts, like emailing people. Like that was kind of the fun of it. Like working to get to where you want to be.
Yeah, because like once you found like that building or whatever, like it'd be so worth it.
Yeah, it was crazy. It's like I don't know how to describe it.
Yeah.
It's just
Nice. What was your favorite building to shoot at? Or your favorite shot?
There's this middle school. It's like south of the city, called Robeson, and it has like this huge Olympic-sized swimming pool. It has like this big, huge gymnasium, this big theater, and it's just the coolest place just to walk around and take pictures at. Also, there's these planes that I think Nick's probably gonna talk about.
I was actually gonna say, it's my favorite spot is probably the planes. It's like
that's close.
The amount of like opportunities you have there, because it's just like 5 planes scattered in this massive field in the middle of nowhere.
And they're
Kansas.
so big. Like you have to go there to like realize how big
they're
they
real
are.
like real huge.
Yeah, just like skeletons.
We don't know why they're there. It's across from like an aviation center of some sort that like it's like a plane junkyard almost. It's weird and it's really cool. And they don't care if you go take pictures there really. Like we've talked to them. It's just kind of a drive. But another place, just because of like the risk factor of going, like I don't remember what it's called. We went there with George. We went there a couple times.
Westport Middle School.
No, we tried to get into Westport, but we never
I know you're
could
talking
because
about.
it was this school that we had to like.
Yeah,
the doors were all locked. We had to like climb pillars to get in. And
open
like
up a
through
window.
And
yeah, it was crazy.
And then once we get in, there was like beeping going on
it was
because there was alarms.
School.
Like
it was the biggest school.
they had it on lock. Like it's the KC public school security or something. Like not real cops, but like could lead to real cops if they caught us. And they did catch us at one. There was one time when we were at this one school that we found, and when we walked out, there was like this security car, and they were like, "What are you doing?" Like not being nice at all. And we were like, "Oh, we're just taking pictures." And he was like, "We sent in a couple buddies to look for you. If they would have found you in there, you would have been handcuffed and had to get on the ground or something." I was like, "I'm sorry, we won't come back here again." He was like, "I know," and made us give him our IDs and stuff.
After that happened, we kind of just like. I felt
that was
like
near the end of the summer, and we kind of stopped a second because
that was kind of like it wasn't the end of it, but
it was a wake up call and a little bit scary. We were a little bit hesitant to go do it at other places again.
Yeah,
because we had done a lot of the stuff that was easier to get, like anyone could really get. So we were looking for more like locked down places, which is just crazy that we did that. It's like not what we do at all anymore, and that's why it's so cool to think back on.
Yeah,
especially since that's where I started. Like. That was my beginning days.
Yeah, it's a cool start, no doubt.
Yeah.
Now, was that like the scariest experience you had down there?
Probably. I don't know.
There was another thing, like, we were in a church, an abandoned church, and we were downstairs in the basement, and it was in a not good area. They call it the East Bottoms, and no one ever heard of that.
Yeah.
You always hear the West Bottoms, but this was the East Bottoms, and it's like one of the worst spots in Kansas City, probably. And we were down in the basement, and like off in the corner, it just looked like. I like to think it was someone sleeping under a blanket. I really hope it wasn't someone dead under a blanket, but regardless, it was definitely a body underneath a blanket, just like still. And I remember just like.
Yeah, and believe it or not, though, like that was probably like I can't remember like seeing any other homeless or like any other person.
Yeah, that was the only time.
Yeah, that was like the only time we saw like someone. Like with us, I think we've bumped into like a few other explorers maybe, or
other people taking pictures.
Yeah, but like no one like homeless or like sleeping, but just that time we did.
Which is weird, and it was like indirectly because they didn't see us. They probably heard us if they were alive or awake. But I don't know, man. It was pretty scary. But that's just like a part of the fun too. It's just an adrenaline rush.
So you mentioned like running into people. Would you guys have like flashlights? Would you go at the nighttime or during the day? How'd that work?
We usually go during the day.
It was a lot during the day.
Yeah.
There was an iconic building in the middle of the West Bottoms that we used to go to all the time. And I know you had some crazy stories there at night, like the helicopter thing or whatever. I wasn't there.
Yeah, it's called AC. It's like this really big abandoned building.
It's right by like the edge of hell. And
it was probably like 15 stories tall. I don't know, but It's like a big maze, basically, like concrete maze, and it's the coolest thing ever.
It's still there. It's just they locked it up hardcore now. It's way harder to get into.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow. So like, let's see. You talked about not scouting. Would you guys scout for these places, or would you guys just kind of like look them up?
Nah, not really. We'd get the location.
Yeah, we'd get the location.
We would just go.
I don't know.
Scouting, in the only way of scouting, I would say that
we'd kind of research online for them. Sometimes we'd kind of ask around for, I don't know.
We ended up, like, as the summer went on, we ended up, like, making some friends with some of the photographers, like, especially ones our age.
Mm-hmm.
And, like, we would kind of share some spots together just because we trusted them and we had shot with them before, but...
Yeah.
What was the question again? We scout the place. I mean, the only way I would say we scouted it is if, like, we walked around it and tried to find an entrance that was probable, but that's, I don't know, we didn't ever, like, go there and then, like, watch it and see if anyone came out or went in. But, like, we walked around, looked for good entrances and stuff.
Yeah.
Huh. And then did you guys, like, you mentioned running into people. What's the, like, abandoned building demographic, like, photographer? Like, older, younger people?
I'd say, honestly, just younger people, I'd say. I don't think we ever saw anyone, like, older, I don't think. Probably, like, anywhere from, like, 30s, 15-year-olds to, like, 30-year-olds, that range, maybe. I don't know.
Yeah. And,
somewhere around
like,
that.
there were a lot of people just, like, there to be there, not even taking, like, pictures.
There
were just, like, group of friends walking around at certain times.
Yeah.
And that was more rare than we're making it sound. Like, we didn't run into a lot of people.
Yeah, we didn't really see a lot of people.
But when we did, they would never be like, they would just be like, "What's up?" You look like,
yeah,
it was cool.
Yeah.
Huh. Now, do you guys have any, like, dream locations outside of KC?
Well, not anymore. Like, it's not. Like, we haven't really, like, been in, like, an abandoned building, like, in a minute. There's this really cool, like, church in Chicago that it's like this huge dome looking place. I don't even know. It's the coolest looking place, but I'd probably go there if I was in Chicago. But other than that,
there's an abandoned theme park in Wichita we never got to go to.
Oh yeah.
But it's still there, I think, and it looks insane. I don't know if I'll
really
ever
cool.
make my way there, but...
Nick, you mentioned theme park. You gotta explain to me. Worlds of Fun, how'd that happen?
Oh, the pictures of the roller coasters?
Yeah, with Grant?
Oh, with Grant. Okay, so like the Mamba?
Yeah.
Okay, so Corey was there.
Yeah.
Corey was there at that, and that was also another snow day that was because of temperatures. So we were all just like, let's go take pictures, blah, 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 let's go to Worlds of Fun. I kind of had an idea, like, to take a picture of him. There's an area you can go right by a fence that's right by the Mamba, right at the base of it. And I was like, I had this idea, like, when I woke up, I don't know, I just thought of it. We went there, we took that picture, and then down a little ways, there was, like, just an opening to, like, the rock, like, you could walk up right to the track of the Mamba, and I was like, no one's here. It's, like, March. It's not open.
Yeah.
There hasn't been a sign of life, and we've been here, like, 20 minutes. Like, let's do something crazy, like, just stand on it or something. And Grant, we were hurrying because, like, it's cold.
Yeah,
so we're already shivering, and then
anxiety.
anxiety
He was in a
comes
short
in.
sleeve shirt. Like,
Yeah, and he hops up on the track, and we take some quick pictures, and then it was so cold, and we were already just anxious that we just ran back to the car and we left. So,
Yeah.
So was Worlds of Fun, like, open? Or did you just...
at the time,
Mm-hmm.
no. It was... I don't think they opened.
Imagine a ride coming down.
No, I mean... Nah, the only way that photo could have been better is if, like, at the top of the hill, you could, like, see it about to go down or something. But,
oh my gosh.
no, it wasn't open yet. I don't think it opened for, like, another month. That was, like, early March this year. Which is crazy. It feels so much longer, but...
Yeah, time's flying, man.
Things are just
It
different.
So looking through your whole portfolio, what are the best pictures you guys think you guys have taken?
I really love the one of Earl Sweatshirt that I took, like the very first Earl Sweatshirt picture that I posted. I love that one a lot.
My favorite, I love my Juice WRLD photo, my first one of It's of his back, but he's like facing the crowd, and you can just see how many people are there. Like, and he's like holding up a 1, and like you can see a bunch of people in the crowd, like reaching up back to him. It's just a crazy shot, especially now that he's not here anymore. So that I was never like the biggest Juice WRLD fan, but I think it just means more. It's probably my most meaningful picture to me now, just because of what it was. He didn't want to take pictures backstage. he told me no, but that's okay. R.I.P. Juice.
That's fine.
Do you guys get told like no a lot? Is that a thing?
Actually, no.
Not really. No.
I think we've only been told no.
Not that.
Honestly,
it doesn't happen that much.
Yeah,
like,
the yes to no ratio is very different. But
it's not. Yeah.
Like Earl Sweatshirt, we ran into him before his show, just like
on the street,
walking around the street,
yeah.
And we were like, hey, can we get some pictures real quick? And he was like,
no, I'm cool.
No, I'm cool. And
but like I can understand that he doesn't even like pictures anyway. Like it's Earl. Like people know that he hates pictures.
Yeah, and that was like coming off of that video of when you like slapped that iPhone out of that dude's hand.
Yeah.
And I don't know if you saw it, but we dapped him up and we said like good luck tonight.
After that show, he came out onto like the street area where there was probably like 15 people standing. And he talked to us for probably like 20 minutes. Just
he literally just for him.
Yeah, he just hung out with all of us for like 15 minutes. It was the coolest thing, and that's where I got that one picture that I love, like my favorite.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, it was cool.
Do you guys tend to talk to the people you're taking pictures of, or is it just kind of?
I try to talk to people a lot. Like, I'm trying to think of who I've probably talked to the most. Probably Lil Mosey. Like Lil Mosey knows, like he's probably the one that like I would say like I know him the most. He knows me the most of anyone I've shot. Like at Juice WRLD, that was my 4th time being around him, and he recognized me because I used to wear like skeleton gloves when I was taking pictures. I don't know where they went. I lost them a few months ago, but that's how he recognized me and remembered me, and he was like, take some pictures of me, like blah blah blah. Like he was like the first person I've had say like take some pictures of me instead of hey, can I take some pictures of you? And and he's going on tour and he's coming here, so hopefully I can link back up with him, or even like he would be a cool person to go on tour with as a first tour because he's a couple months younger than me. Like he's blowing up and he's younger, so that would be a cool one. But yeah, Lil Mosey probably.
Now, you mentioned the skeleton gloves. Do you guys have any like fashion things that like make you distinct? I say this, Nick's in an all-black suit right now. Corey's wearing a dope sweater with the Supreme lanyard on.
I don't know. I love fashion. I mean, you could probably, I don't know. I get a lot of my clothes from Savers, honestly, and I just make it look cool, I think. I don't know.
It's lit. No, it's lit. It's infinite. And wait, what was the question? My bad.
Anything like fashion-wise that makes you like stand out?
It used to be the gloves. I don't know where they went.
He had that shirt.
And I made a shirt for like $9 that said my username.
That's a pretty good idea.
And I actually, that worked. And I stopped doing it like a little bit ago because I just wanted to wear like what I wanted instead of, but it worked well. I probably gained like 20 plus followers per show just because people, and it worked a lot better when I was on the stage taking pictures because people could see me obviously way better, but not really anymore. I just kind of wear what I want now to shows.
Cool. Let's see. What cameras were we rocking with? Did I already ask that? I think we did. Mm-hmm. You the SL2 and then
EOS 60.
Yeah, that's right. Now, going back to the topic, when do you guys know when you take a good picture? Is it in post or during the picture time?
Definitely during the picture. Like
during,
you kind of
know it. Nah.
You definitely you feel it almost.
No, you feel it. You get the one. No, like
you know when it's the one. It's I don't know.
No, I remember
it's cool.
at MGK in October. That picture that I have of him like crowd surfing on my page, like just a few posts ago, I remember I remember taking it and then immediately turning to Corey and showing him it.
Yeah.
And just I was like, that's it. Like, that's definitely, unless I get one better, but I don't know how I will.
And moments like those, that's like the best moment in like photography.
You just know.
It's awesome.
Yeah.
Now, do you guys like edit all your pictures before you post them, or is it just kind of?
Yeah, we both had it. Mm-hmm.
Absolutely. I edit right when I get home. I throw my SD card in my computer and I just go.
I literally only edit on my iPhone. I don't have a computer yet, but that's like something I'm saving up for, and hopefully I'll get soon.
And that makes it a lot more. That makes like your work a lot more insane because like I don't know if people would. No one would really think that.
I know, like I make use of.
Just
of
imagine
what
when
I
you
have.
get the computer, then like
No, I'm hyped. I'm excited for that.
It's gonna be cool.
I didn't even know that. Wow.
Yeah.
So you mentioned you guys do. Would you guys say you do a lot of concert photography, or just?
It's my primary.
Yeah.
It's like I don't take photos of people that much anymore because I've been trying to like stop reaching out to people more about it and having them reach out to me because I feel I've like grown to where I don't really need to reach out to people. Like if they want to take pictures with me, they can hit me up and it's probably going to be free because like I said, I just want content out and my name out for now, but yeah, I'll go like there's been times where I'll do a show and then I'll go like 3 weeks without shooting and then have another show. But like I've actually been taking some photos recently of people.
And they go hard. they're nice.
But yeah, so a concert and like backstage portraits are like my primary, but I'll take pictures of friends and stuff every so often.
Now, just like looking at your pictures, you guys have a lot of variety. Do you guys have like a main like set of settings you guys use? Like, do you guys always try doing like shallow depth of field and stuff? Or?
Low f-stop definitely for me, just so I can get the shutter speed higher. So like when people are moving or whatever, it captures them, whatnot. It just depends on the lighting and whatnot. But
I always use a higher aperture because like I have the 18 through 55, so that's like he's using a 50 most of the times, and those are two very different lenses, obviously. So, and I use flash. Like I've had security guards because like film cameras have flash, and that's like what I'm kind of going for a little bit, but my own way. And I've had like security be like, "Hey, no flash," and I'll be like, I've said some stuff like, "No, they said I could." Like I'm with the tour, and they're like, "Oh, okay." But it's a lot of like finessing that has to go into it. You just gotta be on your toes and smart about what you do and say in a place like that, because you gotta remember like to the concert, the people that are there for the concert and the performer, you are not really that important unless you're with the tour. So you kind of just gotta stay out of the way and do what you do, and just kind of be calm while you're doing it. And yeah.
So I don't want to say this, but is photography like a big scam? Like, are you just trying to not scam everyone, but weasel your way into things?
Interesting. That's a good
like
question.
into like concerts and stuff.
Like not
getting
into
free and
concerts,
stuff?
but like the Flash example or getting into abandoned buildings. Would you say it's a lot of just trying to get around people?
That's a good question. I don't really think so.
I mean, I don't know. It's our passion. It's what we love to do. I don't know.
I don't really think so. I just think like I've never thought of it like that. I think since I've never thought of it like that, the answer's probably no. But that's a good question.
So it's better words to hustle.
Kinda, yeah.
Yeah.
It's just
Yeah, I mean,
you gotta be relentless to get the shot you want. Like I don't know. There's just like if someone's coming to town, like Post Malone's coming to town early February, like I am gonna get a portrait of him backstage or get kicked out trying. Like actually.
yeah.
And that's at the Sprint Center. That's gonna be some like high security. Like I'm gonna have to like do something. But I'm also gonna try and work. I'm also gonna get the abandoned skills. But I'm also gonna try and get backstage. Like I'm gonna try and hit up the right people.
Yeah.
Etc. So regardless.
You gotta do what you gotta do.
Yeah, be looking for Post Malone pics. Stay tuned.
Now, if you guys did get like bigger, would you guys consider getting like not a lawyer, but like a manager to help you get into these shoots?
Yes, 100%. And like my biggest influences have managers and stuff. And a lot of the time, like Ray's Corrupted Mind, he's like Travis Scott's personal photographer, like my dreamest of all dreams. like his manager is Travis Scott's manager, so like they're all like that Cactus Jack like group. They're all, it's like a creative group. It's not even all music. Like Ray falls under that category. Is like he's not signed to Cactus Jack obviously because he's not an artist, but he's managed by the same people that Travis Scott is. So like that's just a big thing, and that's like my ultimate goal. Like if I were to be a personal photographer for someone, I know I said like an athlete, but Travis would be crazy. But he already has one, so like I can't always think about that, but it's just the biggest goal.
Here's a big question. You guys are both varsity athletes. Nick, you play football. Corey, you do soccer. How do you guys manage school, sports, and photography?
Dang, Trevor, you got good questions.
It
was no.
It is a grind.
During football, there was a like. My bad.
No, go ahead.
Okay, so it was like October, and there was like 3 shows in 1 week, and like Kevin Gates was one of them. I can't think of the others, but there was like 3 shows in 1 week. All of them after football practice. All of them downtown. And I remember, like 2 of the 3, I didn't get out of football till like 6:30, and I didn't have any of my camera equipment, and I had to get home and shower and then get there. And I never felt like crazy rush because like doors don't even open until 7 and the show's at 8. But and there were a lot of times I neglected homework, but like I don't even care.
I remember one time I had to tell my coach like I'm gonna miss this game for a concert because I think it was
Young Thug.
Yeah, it was Young Thug. Yeah, I didn't want to miss that.
Mandatory.
It was mandatory, and my coach understood because he knows.
Like, oh, it's Young Thug.
No, he understood. Like it's my passion and whatnot. But yeah.
So would you guys say you would prioritize passion over business any day?
Yeah.
Yes.
For sure.
Actually, that's a dang good question, bro.
I don't know. I mean,
I would have to know the circumstances.
Yeah.
But
as far as like
probably yeah.
Yeah.
I would prioritize it over business.
Yeah. Cool. And then I guess going on the business side, would you guys work for big companies like National Geographic or
Interesting.
people like just big rap groups?
Definitely. Yeah. Why not? I feel like that just opens up more opportunities and will allow you to meet new people and just get your name out there.
I think it would be really cool to be like a photographer for like Complex or XXL, like a hip hop magazine.
Yeah, that'd be
because like you would get into anything and everything you wanted, and like have a lot of open doors.
Yeah.
And I follow a bunch of people like our age on Instagram that have had like pictures of theirs posted by like Complex and stuff, and like that obviously will kind of like get their name out there a lot and gain some followers. I haven't had that happen yet, but I mean the closest I've had something like that happen is Denzel Curry posting my pictures there and tagging me. I mean, he has like I don't know how many followers, but I only got like 80, and I mean still that's cool, but you would think it would be more. But I mean it's still good. I'm not complaining. It's cool and crazy.
Cause like how many people do you think saw your picture like that?
That's the thing. So like it has like 90,000 likes. Yeah, and that's what's so.
That's
wild.
Awesome.
But yeah, all the followers and stuff that'll come. I'm not really worried about that or even likes. I always look for how many people I reach on my posts because that's what matters most to me right now. All the followers and likes and all whatever I want really will come if I just keep working. So
that's a good philosophy to have.
Yeah.
Would you guys consider, since he has like music, like doing album art?
Yeah, that'd be awesome.
Yeah, I actually have done that a couple times. Like I've made some single covers, like Stargazing by Travis. I made a little over a year ago.
The baby one?
Yeah, I did one for the baby. I had it on my Instagram for a little bit, but
did you take that off?
Yeah, I did.
I thought that was a really good idea. That was cool.
It was cool. It
looked cool too. Like,
it was just, I don't want to say different because like I like to do different things, but I just didn't feel like it. had a place on my profile.
I understand that too.
So do you think like profile themes are big? Like, do you try to just stick with one theme all the way through?
I do, just because I have one style, and I know, or you can talk.
Well, like I said, like infinite kind of means like infinite like amount of possibilities, basically. So like infinite themes. I kind of do whatever. I've been thinking about kind of narrowing in on like a certain style, but like I don't know. We'll just see where it goes.
Mm-hmm. That makes sense. I remember coming up with you about Coryinfinite. We were brainstorming new ideas.
Yeah.
It used to be
so
Corey Johnson 1 2 3.
It was literally Corey Johnson 1 2 3, and I was like, this has to be changed.
That's legendary. That was the abandoned era.
Yeah,
that's
yeah.
like
I'll
things
throw
that
that
came
in.
with it, and I don't know. The way that Coryinfinite rolls into it, like the Y and the I, that just like it's smooth.
Yeah.
It sounds good. People are gonna know about it. So.
No, that's a smart idea because you're not closing yourself off. You know.
Mm-hmm.
Nick, where'd your name come from?
Before I even got into photography, I made a new Instagram sophomore year, first semester, and just kind of restarted, and I named it that. I remember being in Theochem, and just trying to think of a like clever name, and me and Mason Leith were talking about like what if you like just like rolled your S? How would you spell that? Like Nicholizz. Like, how would you spell that?
I didn't even know that was the way it came out. That's cool.
Yeah, we were just brainstorming ideas because it was like Eagle Hour, like study period, and I figured out a way to spell it that I liked, which is what it is today, and it just stayed like that. I just like the way like people like I don't even know sometimes like with back in the glove era when I wore the skull gloves, they'd be like Nicholizz, like it was crazy, like it's people dapping me up. It's just cool and crazy how it happened.
Now, do you guys have any like specific logos you would?
I do. I made mine. It's my profile picture. I made it like earlier this year. It's just like a sharp N with like bold white with a black background.
I've thought about it. I don't have one, but I thought about getting like a logo or something, but I don't have one right now.
Now, you guys talked about fashion, especially. I mean, you guys are both well dressed right now. What are your thoughts on like fashion photography?
I think it's a cool thing.
Insane.
It'd be cool to shoot like fashion shows. I think for like Louis Vuitton or Gucci. I think that'd be really cool. I don't know. I prefer more like concerts. I think that's a little cooler and I don't know. It's like fashion shows are kind of like set up, so you're kind of gonna get like the same kind of like thing. I don't know, but like at concerts, you don't know what you're gonna like get a picture of. Like the possibilities are like a lot more endless. I'd say.
Yeah, concerts are just so much more unpredictable.
Yeah,
but a fashion show would be insane.
It would be really cool. I would definitely do that.
Yeah, Louis Vuitton.
It'd be really cool.
Get some
Off-White, something crazy.
Yeah, no, and like Playboy Cardi, like a rapper, like rappers do fashion shows too. Like, and if we got a picture of like a rapper or something in a fashion show, I feel like that'd be awesome.
Nice. Now, would you guys consider like making your own merch?
Absolutely, and I've tried to do it, but it didn't work out.
Let's hear that. What happened?
it was back when I was making my self-promotion t-shirt to wear at shows, and I was like, how much would it be to buy like 25 of these, like the same thing? And he was like, blah blah blah, and I was like, okay, so if I charge this much to each person, blah blah blah, and like at the time I hadn't even really gotten that much into concert stuff, so like I was still just kind of taking pictures of friends and stuff, so like I wasn't really like what I am today, so like there weren't that many people that were like down to get it, but it's something that I would be so down to do eventually. Yeah, I still think it's a little too early to do.
Yeah, once we
like
get
that.
some traction, those ideas will come.
I also want to make like books or like I started making prints. Like I've sold like 2 prints.
A book would be really cool. Like this Gunnar Stahl, like like a big inspiration to us. Like just dropped like a book and we both bought it. It's really cool. It's awesome.
I saw that. Now, like, what if you guys made a book or like a zine? What would your focus be? Would it be concerts or a certain person?
I'd honestly probably throw like everything, like even from the abandoned like like time. Like I'd throw like all the like stuff that I think looks awesome or just like my best work basically into it.
I would probably take a lot of stuff that isn't on my Instagram and even some that isn't on my website because my Instagram is where I put a lot of my best stuff that I believe is my best, and then
just rare things.
my
my
website is where I just dump everything kind of, and you can see a lot more on my website. So a lot of stuff on my website would be in the book. Some things on my Instagram would be, but I would want it to be a lot of like stuff that has never been seen. Just since like January, February this year when I kind of started doing concerts and stuff. So it would be so cool because I know I'm gonna like write a book one day anyway, like a fictional like novel. At least one like, and I've already tried to do that, but it took me like a couple of. I'm so off topic right now, but
no, that's all right.
I wrote a book in 7th grade and finished it sophomore year, and I edited it, revised it, had my parents read it, and then I read.
Still want to read that. I want to read.
I read the final draft, and I just did not like it. And
I want to read that.
It was just, the idea was there, but the execution was not, and so
it's fun.
I don't know. I'll do it one day though. So making a photography book for my work will be a very fun, creative thing that I do.
Now, like photography books could be equated to like an album for a musician. What would you guys title yours?
That's such a good question.
Dude, what? Trevor?
I don't know.
That's wild.
Infinite, something with infinite.
To infinity and beyond.
There you go.
That's it. That's cool.
I don't know, bro. That's crazy.
And what's Gunners? Isn't it like?
It's just Gunner style portraits, but
it's like I have a
He
lot
has a
to tell
series.
you or something.
I have so much to
I have
tell
so
you.
much to tell you.
He dedicates all of his books to his mom.
Yeah.
She passed away from breast cancer when he was little, but he has like a series of books that the series is called Gunner Saul Portraits, but like every book in that series has a certain title. So that might be an approach, or figure something else out. I have never thought about that.
Yeah, me neither, honestly.
It's crazy. I don't know yet.
Soon, man. 2020. We're
Yeah,
going into a new decade.
Yeah, it's wild. I don't know, bro. It's like exciting. It's scary. It's lit.
Yeah, it's everything.
It's really crazy.
It's infinite.
It's infinite.
Now, I guess since we're going into a new decade, I mean, today's the last day of the year, or the 2010s.
Wow.
What kind of upgrades would you guys plan to make? Like any new cameras or?
I just recently bought my 24 through 70 millimeter, which is like a fat sum of money. So like, I think I'm gonna cool with that. Just see what I can get with it and make the best out of it.
I'm gonna shoot film this year, like real film. Some other things that I want to do. It was about this whole decade, though.
That's
right?
big. I didn't even know that.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah,
that's
I'm
really
definitely gonna
cool.
do new things. I want to start editing black and white, certain things. I want to start doing. I did a lot of warm tones in 2019. I want to maybe do some cool tones. That was a lot what I did in the abandoned era, kind of. I don't know. I always post at 8:25 p.m. That's like every post, and that was just the time that I posted my first picture of an artist, and it just stuck. I don't know why. It's a really random time, but I might switch the time that I post either a little bit earlier or a little bit later, just because like 25 is just weird, kind of. Or I could keep it and just have it be my own thing. I don't know. I haven't thought about that deep yet, but I don't know. I feel like I keep getting off topic from the question. I just keep talking.
Hey, that's all right. That's what these are for, man.
Yeah.
I guess getting off topic, if photography doesn't work out, what would you guys do instead? That's such a sad question to ask.
No, it's okay.
I don't know yet. I really don't. I don't. Like, if I'm being honest, like, I don't know yet. Like, photography's what's gonna have to happen. In my case, like,
it's mandatory.
I don't know. Like, yeah.
If photography doesn't work out, then I'll just have to, like I said, if it does work out, I don't want to do it longer than like when I'm, like I'll probably be done with it like if I do it as a career within 12 to like 15 years probably. Like it's not gonna be that long of a thing. And then if I get the degree that I want, then I can eventually become like a sports broadcaster, like I said. Like my a dream as far as that would be like announcing like a big like college football bowl game or like a Sunday night football or something. Like a lot of those announcers played football though, so that's kind of something against me, but not all of them. And I believe that I can do that. It's just going to take a lot more practice and experience, but that's definitely something that I would like to do if photography does not work out.
Cool. And I circle it back around to photography. Do you guys have any? You mentioned what was his name? Your inspiration?
Gunnar Stahl.
Gunnar Stahl.
Yeah, he's my biggest inspiration.
Is there any other people that you guys would say influenced you guys?
Yes.
Yeah. Race Corrupted Mind is a really big one, I'd say, for both of us. Travis is photographer. I'm trying to think of... I know there's a lot. I just can't think of any right now.
I'm gonna hop on my Instagram real quick.
Yeah, there's this dude named Valandis. He's a really cool photographer. He grew up in the hood and just took pictures of just everything that he thinks looked cool basically in the hood, and he just explains how it's dangerous, but he has a camera to capture it all and just stuff like that.
My it's kind of slow network, but Bry's Mad World is crazy. I'm trying to think of more. So Gunnar Saul, Raise Corrupted Mind, Bry's Mad World. There's a local guy.
The MC Dub.
The MC Dub.
He's crazy.
He's wild. He's kind of more Corey's type of thing.
Yeah, he uses the star filter a lot. He's cool.
He's local though.
Yeah.
Okay, so things are starting to load a little bit.
If you could, would you guys meet these guys?
I have met the MC Dub. His name's Marcus. He's a little bit older than us. He's probably 21 or 22. But he's crazy. He has really good equipment. Those are honestly the only ones off the top of my head that I can find. But
yeah.
Those are probably my top 3 or 4, 5. However many we say.
Now, when you guys go into a shoot, what's your equipment load look like? Is it just a camera and a lens, or do you guys...
I have a backpack that I carry. It has a film camera, my camera, the EOS 6D, and then it has a 50, and then it has a... I think it's a 70 through 200, but I never use that. And then I have the 24 through 70, which is attached onto it, my EOS. And yeah. And I also have this portable flash that I put on.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. That's something that's so different between me and you because in a cool way. I'm not if I'm going on a shoot, I have a 50 millimeter lens, but I don't use it often, and I just use my 18 through 55 and use flash, my built-in flash. And so when I leave for a shoot from my house, I have a camera bag, but sometimes I don't even bring that. I'll just bring my camera and my lens attached to it, my built-in flash, obviously, with my lens cap on. I don't even bring my bag, and I don't have a thing that I put around there. Just carry it, and because it's so light. Like I said, it's like a phone almost, and I don't know, I just don't use that much. I would say I'm almost more of an artist than a photographer because a lot of what I do is in the editing almost because I'm trying to make it look a certain way. But you know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Now, have you guys ever lost anything you considered crazy good?
Like an SD card or something?
Like an SD card or something got corrupted?
I don't think so.
So you guys got it easy then, huh?
I don't know if I have.
Yeah, I don't know if anything's
The only thing that I haven't lost anything, but there was a time during the abandoned era I dropped my camera and it landed on the on and off switch, and it it's hard to explain. I can't ever turn my camera off unless I take the battery out because the dial is messed up from how it landed. So the way I turn my camera on and off is by taking the battery in and out. I don't ever turn the switch because it'll just turn it to video mode instead of off. Huh. Which is funky. It's just the way it landed. I don't know. It's weird.
You're crazy for still using that.
Yeah, bro. That's over a year ago.
Yeah, that was so
and
that's crazy.
I just made it.
You made it work.
Done.
Now I guess I got one more question.
Right.
And you mentioned photography being an art style or just art. Do you think it's becoming oversaturated?
Yes and no. I feel anyone can be a photographer.
Yeah.
But I feel like
you have to have a certain, I don't know, like.
Anyone can be a photographer, but if you want to be like
a
photographer, you gotta be relentless, like we were saying earlier, and like it's not.
You gotta have it. I feel like you either have it or you don't.
Yeah, like you're either like taking pictures for fun of your friends, or you're like trying to do something. And I don't know, like there's nothing wrong with doing that, regardless. Like if you want to take pictures, take pictures. But
that's like the beauty of it. Like anyone can do it. Anyone can create anything. It's photography.
That's what's awesome. Wait, what was the question again? I kind of want.
Is photography becoming oversaturated? Because I mean, everyone has an iPhone now.
It's crazy because like the iPhones are getting like the cameras on them are getting so good.
Those iPhone billboards like shot on iPhone.
I know.
Like, stuff
Even
like that.
Ray like did like a campaign or something with Apple or whatever.
Exactly. So it's becoming more and more like convenient or just like easier to do, but like I said, like you're either just taking photos or you're a photographer. Like like what Corey said, you either have it or you don't. So I don't know if it's becoming oversaturated. I would just say it's becoming more of a thing that it's more open to a lot more people because of how good phone cameras are becoming. Like everyone enjoys photos of themselves or of like things they take. Or like so I don't know if it's becoming oversaturated. It's just becoming more of a thing people can
easily obtain.
Yeah.
I gotcha. Now I actually lied. I have another question to follow up with that.
Okay.
Since like it's becoming more convenient to take pictures, do you think since film and like Polaroids are coming back, it's more valuable? You think people will start like lowering their amount of pictures they're taking?
Ask that question. What do you mean?
Oh, that makes sense. So like photography is really convenient now. Like you can take as many pictures as you want. Would you say like since film and Polaroids are coming back, that's like a hint of people trying to spend more time on their craft?
Yeah, definitely. I think I went into this. So I processed my film at this guy's house. I forget what it was, but his business is literally in his house, and it's like just for film. And he like hates digital, and he just rambles and rambles on and on. Like he's someone who like that just does not stop talking, and like he would just tell me like how much better like film was and whatnot. He's like this old like 70-year-old guy, but yeah, he loves film, and he just thinks it's so much better. And like you can tell like the passion that he has, like it is better. Like I don't know, just the colors and whatnot on film hit different.
That's true.
Big time, yeah.
Yeah.
Now, did you watch him develop it, or did you like?
I did not. I just dropped the rolls off, and then it took him probably like a week and a half to get them done. Then I picked him up.
I developed my own film once, and like.
Oh really?
You know his name's Ashton Overby.
I don't think I know who that is.
He's another photographer at North.
Okay.
Yeah, we just went into his basement. We like developed some film. I think that was insane. Like mixing chemicals and
That
stuff.
sounds
So crazy.
Yeah.
What?
And it's like cheap too. So like when you get into film, it's like $30 to get all the chemicals, and then
I'm gonna need
that would be what I would want to do.
Yeah,
I want to do my
definitely.
own thing, and that
I'm
would
gonna have to
make
look into that for sure.
I didn't even really know that.
That's really cool.
definitely.
That's awesome.
All right, guys. Well, we're going to the next decade. Can't wait to see what you guys bring out.
Yeah.
Yes, thank you. Happy New Year, everyone. If you made it this far, thank you for listening.
Yeah. Thank you.
Hope you enjoyed. This is Trev Talks.
Yeah, I appreciate you guys coming on.
Yes, sir. Thank you for having us, Trev.
All right, that was episode 4. Coryinfinite, Nicholizz. How do you say that? Is it just Nicholizz?
Nicholizz. Roll that S, baby. Turn it into Z's.